It's fine. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. It's okay, bud. Sir? Can you go sit down? Please. I'm over by the trial chamber. Here, I'll come. It's not. It's okay, Sarah. I'll help guide her. Or I guess I could TP her. Please go sit down. There's that chair right there. You'll be fine, Sarah. You'll be safe. Yes, it's creative. So this way, Hannah. Okay. So, Sam, you want to join? Yeah, so if you go and take that hole down, you'll go to the trial chamber. But we're not going in the trial chamber right now. We want to be up above it. Because I think sometimes having a visual representation of the things you read is very helpful in understanding what's going on and why certain things had to happen a certain way. So, I don't need add-ons. I know. So, everybody, Hannah's here. Where's Sarah? Oh, don't. Okay. Hannah, can you TP them to us? I know. He's prehistoric, Sarah's player. Okay. No, we're not going down there. We're chilling up here. Just as a little, so we have some light around us, you know. Maybe I should put down a little campfire. You know. Sure. But that we will want it at nighttime, right? Because Hannah, what have we been reading the last couple weeks in the Book of Mormon? Right? Do you understand why I might want it nighttime at some point? I gave you full permissions. I don't know. I mean, it's clear, but it's starting to get... Okay, you got commands. I think the reason I didn't change to daytime is because technically it's daytime. But I'll still put down a little... I'll put down a little... Come on, sweetie. Alright, okay. Oh, that works too. Huh. Yes? Hey, sir. Come on, son, please. Can you get him off whatever that is, Anna? Dang it all. Okay. Okay. I got us chairs. You're welcome. Because then we can talk. Keeps us all kind of contained. And then when we need to get out to go on a little field trip up the hill. So what have we covered? Have you guys been keeping track? In Come Follow Me? I know, Sarah went to the bathroom. I don't know. Sam, the ADD one. Oh, look at him. Where did you put the cart? Awesome. Did it break? Sarah, can you get in here, please? Okay. Sarah, where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay, you want to come jump in your seat? Okay. So, what have we talked about? So we haven't gone to church in a few weeks, have we? Between sick and tired and... I think the week we went was the... Oh yeah, Sarah's spinning like silly. How did yours? Okay. So, last couple weeks, they've covered things where Alma's talking to his sons, right? And and then it moves into um, right. So he talks to his one son, says, "Hey, here's some guidance for you." He talks to his second son, who's done a bad thing, and that's caused a lot of heartache and trouble. And he talks to him about that just because, you know, that there can be repentance. They. Mm. Okay, so maybe this wasn't the best idea. And then it goes into some of the trials and troubles that the uh, the Nephites are having, right? So what happened to the Nephites in the section after um no, because my kids are just running around. So Alma, after talking to his sons and recording that information, right, he then turns his time over to what happens to the Nephites as a nation and the wars between them and the Lamanites. Right? So, do you remember what started these wars? Well, apart from like what really started the war long, long ago, but specifically these sets of wars and troubles. Nope. I know. I'm doing this right now, Sarah, so we can have this little talk. Okay? So that's part of it. But part of it is, um, no. I want you to stay here because there's a reason we're sitting right here in this world. And I mean that for both this world and the Minecraft world. Okay? So, do you guys remember who the Zoramites are? So different Zoram, but yes, technically those are also Zoramites. But they're considered Nephites. So Zoram was a man who led away some of the Nephites in their beliefs. And his name was Zoram. And ultimately they move into the land by Jershon. And they did not particularly care for the words of the words of God. That made them angry. And so Alma had preached to them, and this is how angry the Zoramites were, that they didn't even let people know that they were angry about what Alma was preaching. But they went door to door to find out people's thoughts on it, and those who were in favor of what Alma was preaching, they gathered them all together and they threw them out of the land. That's how much they disliked what Alma was preaching. And so ultimately the Zoramites basically become Lamanites, right? Oh. Come plug it in. Here, how about this? I will do something. Maybe. Here we go. I'll take over the TV for a second. Here, can we get the remote? So you don't have to hear me talking to that twice. Do you know where the TV remote is? Okay. There we go. Okay. So, to make a long story short, basically you get people who don't like the Word of God. They don't like the obligation it puts on them to behave in certain ways, right? They think that's restrictive. They think that doesn't allow them to have freedom. They want to do what they want to do. And so they ultimately kind of rebel and they don't like it. And so now, if I'm remembering correctly, because I'm spamming fireworks. And so the Zoramites join the Amalekites, and they join the Lamanites, and so yes, that Sarah. So the Amalekites are even more wicked than the Zoramites and even the Nephites. They don't like the Nephites. They don't like them so much that they want to basically turn them into slaves. Right? Bring them into bondage. And so, but the Nephites did not want to be slaves. They didn't want to lose their land. They didn't want to lose their wives. They didn't want to lose their ability to choose or their liberty, right? It's one of the things that word has slowly changed over the years. Back in the time that, and before Joseph Smith, the term liberty meant not just the freedom to choose, but the freedom to choose good, right? Because you'll find that usually when governments start making onerous laws, they're compelling you to do stuff that might not necessarily be good, right? And so, for example, we're seeing that in the modern day, right, with different hate speech laws, where simply someone who is part of a protected class claims that your speech offended them or hurt them. And there are places now in this world where you can be jailed just for simply speaking truth. So the Nephites didn't want to become the slaves to the Amalekites. So they they prepared, right? Because they could see, right? So if you start noticing someone saying mean things to you and threatening you, it's probably safe to assume that if they keep on that path, they're ultimately going to probably come and punch you and hurt you, right? And so, wouldn't it be prudent to, if this person's yelling at me about how they're going to punch me, to be safe? No, you don't go punch them, but to prepare, right? Maybe you prepare by being ready to run away. Maybe you prepare by being ready to, I mean, yes, if you're at school telling a teacher, but you'll find, Hannah, that even in today's world, there's teachers, if you're saying things that those teachers don't agree with, they might let those kids beat you up, right? This happened just in Las Vegas some time ago, right? A kid was beaten to death because he tried to stop a group of kids from taking his friend's stuff. Okay? And only some of them are actually seeing any form of justice in being charged with the crime of beating this kid to death. There's over 17 students who sat there and kicked this kid to death. Okay, so being prepared. Sometimes it's not just simply, oh, I'm going to fight back. Because in that scenario, that kid was outnumbered 17-1. Like almost nobody, even an adult in that situation, versus 17 high school students, might not be able to fight them all off. They were high school students, yes. So they should have known better. Okay, so what the Nephites did, you see this big hill? Huh, there's some houses built up here. Well, if you were living here, and the people who lived down over there were wanting to come up and take your houses, take your land, how would you defend this? Yeah, this big hill, right? Or maybe say you guys live down here on this flatland where our chairs are, and the people across that stream, that river over there, were looking to do you harm, right? Maybe you guys move like these, right? The village is down here initially, but then there's villages up here. So maybe you guys decide to move from down here up onto this hill where you can defend yourselves because, okay, Sam, without flying, right? Try to attack me from down the hill, right? So you have to come up this hill and come and get to my house. My house is up there. Without flying, try to get up here, get past me. If you want to put on armor or whatever, you can. No, no. Oh, wait. I don't have... Do I have PvP turned on? Dang it. Okay. I don't have PvP turned on for some reason. I thought I did. No, I have friendly fire on, so why am I not hitting you? Alright, then let me turn off creative. Okay. Hey. Yeah, but you didn't do it from the bottom of this hill, Anna. You're not down there now. The whole point. So Sam's gonna try to take a very backwards approach. So Sam, you realize that if you have to fight up this hill, you're gonna stand no chance. So you would have to come at me from level ground. But imagine if I put up walls up here. Right? Oh, but what if, and this is what the Nephites did, okay, it tells about it in the scriptures. Right, I'm gonna turn it back into creative. Okay. What they did is so where there wasn't a very steep hill to climb up, so like here, Sam, so say this is their house right here, right? So they dug a big trench here. Because you came around the backside. I was watching you, and it looks like you flew over me. Okay, go ahead. I'm on the end of the village, up on the top part. So they dug a trench. Right. And obviously they probably removed any trees that were on the outside of said trench. So they can see the Lamanites coming, right? So we'll get there in a second. I'm just trying to dig this. Okay. Yep, so anybody who's moving over that land would have to Sure, sir, you can break. So we're just gonna cut it through until we get to the other side of the hill. Well, okay, so maybe that's far enough, sir. Because technically the village. But this is the idea, right? So they would have come through. They would have. Okay. And then, to make it even harder on the Lamanites, they built a wall on this side of the trench. Right? So imagine maybe a 5 or 6 foot deep trench with then another, say, 10 to 15, maybe even 20 foot tall wall on the other side. So in essence, that's almost a 15 to 25 foot wall because you will be standing in a trench beneath a wall. Yeah, and how are you going to do that, bud, when you have archers above you? You have people with boiling pitch or boiling water even. Are you really gonna sit there and try to dig underneath someone's wall while they are sitting on top of said wall? Right? Like imagine so like this is what you are a Lamanite. So Sam, you're the Nephite. Go stand on top of that wall. Or go give yourself a little pedestal just on the other side, like right here, okay? So like you're standing right here, okay? And then here's this raging Lamanite, right? And that's what he gets to face is he gets to run up a hill. He gets to the top of the hill, there's a giant hole in front of him. Yeah. And so yeah, so like I mean, was there people who could maybe get up to the wall? Hmm. And so, well, you guys just found something that maybe the Lamanites did try at some point. Is, oh, what if we tried to burn down their walls? Well, guess what? The Lamanite or the Nephites were even prepared for that, so they covered some of their walls in pitch and stuff, so that it wouldn't catch fire. Okay. So the Neph or the Lamanites, right? The Amalekites get the Neph or the Lamanites to be like, oh, okay, let's go and take over some of these weaker cities of the Nephites and turn them into our slaves. But luckily, the Nephites were like, hey, we're not really cool with that, right? We really don't want to become your guys' slaves. So they built their structures so that they could defend it, and they could defend it with very few, because think, Sam, with this type of a defense, how many people do you need on top of the wall to stop a raging horde of crazy Lamanites? Yeah, not that many. Like 5 or 10 people with a few bows sitting on top, and some, some buckets of tar or boiling water or just whatever that's gonna cause people to scream and yell and go ow and run away, right? Like, because you don't necessarily want to just like senselessly slaughter other people unless they refuse to yield, which you very rarely ever want to trap someone that way. So, need. Yeah. So come on, Sam. Playing on a notebook. Like, I know I'm trying to sit here and teach you guys, and I thought this would be a better way of teaching it than just sitting here and boring you guys to death with words. Well, obviously, some people are. 'Cause Sam's just sitting here playing with note blocks, making noise in the game. Sarah's over here going through people's houses. And so to me, I find it very sad that here I bring up one word, yield. And Sam can go on and tell me all about the Mario movie and Bowser and all this stuff. And yet the Book of Mormon, the scriptures, he does, like, because I'm bringing up who's the Zoramites, I'm bringing up who's this, who's that. No answers. Shrugs, silence. I know, but my point is, on all the stuff that doesn't matter in this world, and this criticism goes for me as well, right? I'm not just sitting here being like, ooh, because you know me, I love to play my games. Right? You guys can sit there and watch a movie, and Sam can give me almost a perfect recitation of what the entire movie was about. Right? I could probably bring up a movie we haven't watched in like a couple years, like The Avengers or something, and Sam can give me a play-by-play of everything that happened in that movie, or Guardians of the Galaxy, or some whatever show. Yeah, we have. Or Pirates of the Caribbean. I know, but I'm just saying, right? Is that I could bring up movies and games and whatever, and but me trying to sit here and give a visual representation of what the Nephites did to prepare, of what the Lamanites were then faced with, so then you can understand when the king told them to go and fight against the Nephites, why those Lamanites said no and they ran away. Because they remember fighting Captain Moroni in previous battles. They remember the slaughter that came from that, and they didn't want to repeat it again. Right? There are very few times in the history of this world, the world, not just a country, the world, where an army has suffered a 50% casualty. Right? That means 1 out of every 2 people are either wounded so badly they cannot fight, or they are dead. Right? There are very few armies in this entire world who have gone through something like that and then said, yes, let's keep fighting. It doesn't matter which armies said it. The point is, when the Lamanites are faced with something like that, They ran away. And rightfully so. The prospect of coming against well-fortified cities with people who are not just going to be like, okay, yeah, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, I turned it off because there's no point. I know you are, but Sam's sitting around playing with Breeze Blast, and again, Sarah's off wandering around.